Welcome back to the Football Exponential podcast. I'm Chika and I'm joined by Frank.
Yeah, hi Chika, Happy New Year. Well,
Uh,
I think after this match on the 11th, I don't really think you can say Happy New Year on the after the 11th. But
no, I don't.
Happy New
I
Year,
don't.
happy.
I don't believe.
But
I don't believe in that. If I meet somebody in January that I haven't met before, 30th, I say Happy New Year.
you
It
say Happy
doesn't.
New Year, okay?
I
Yeah,
don't.
it's yeah.
There's no
He said
official. There's no official this thing for that. It's like Christmas.
yeah, yeah, that's true. But
Mm.
again, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to our listeners, our followers.
Yeah, Happy New Year to
Um,
everyone.
yeah. So it's been I I won't say it's not been slow. A lot of moves in the football world since we've been away. But I think let's get into the biggest one
The
so far.
PSR has killed the winter transfer.
Yeah,
It's destroyed it. They're
yeah,
just
but I
fixing what never existed. How many
yeah,
times you have clubs going on the ground? Like how
it
many?
should.
Reading, okay. It's like saying you can't fly an aircraft again or fly a plane because of the accidents or whatever or plane crashes. It just doesn't. Newcastle
Yeah,
has money; they can't spend money. Do you understand what I'm trying to
it's
say?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
how?
It's
Then it's making it easy to sell academy players. That's not what we came here for. Let's go for the first one. Sean Dyche, West Ham, some days ago sacked Julian Lopetegui.
um yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
no, let's go with Dyche first. Let's go with Dyche.
Let's go dash.
Everton,
Let's go dash.
some hours ago sacked Sean Dyche, and then I think he's been replaced with David Moyes. I don't know if it's official, but
Yeah, it's official. It's official. They've
it's
brought David
official.
Moyes back for 2.5 years.
And
They brought
the printing group, the owners of Roma, AF Roma, I think they have another club, just not Roma. And then the way they went about it, I think Sean Dyche went in for discussion, and at the end of the discussion, they decided that they were not going
eh,
to continue with him. It's a no secret that they are moving into a new stadium next season. He wasn't going to be in charge, but most people did not expect that it would come so soon. So, do
yeah,
you think that he deserved the
and
sack?
I think this is an argument where where both things can be true at the same time. Where I feel it was time for Everton to have to. It was Everton needed a change in not just with ownership, but even a change in terms of the manager or the coach of the team. And I just feel the way a lot of people have framed the discussion, the way they've painted it, is as if we get rid of Sean Dyche and all our problems will get solved. He was the problem at the club, and I feel it's the opposite. Where let's not forget last season, Everton got how many points? They got they got fined. They had points deducted from them twice.
Yeah,
I
they're
believe
my favorite to
it,
go down last season because of
yeah,
the point they don't throw.
exactly. But still, even after the first point deduction, they went on this incredible run where I think they won six out of they won five out of 7 games on the bounce. They got a lot of points just to keep themselves far away from the relegation troubles. But I feel in terms of what's happened at that club in the last few years with the instability and with ownerships, with owners, the recruitment is just been it's not been the best. And what you always want is somebody who's a presence that's always there guiding the club through troubled waters of relegation. And I feel Sean Dyche did that for the best part of 2.5 years. And you can also salute him for the job he's done and also acknowledge if the club is with the new owners coming in, with the new stadium coming next season, it's the right time to let go of Sondage and get somebody in that takes the club into the
Mhm.
new era, the new basically the new era. But at the same time, what I didn't like about it was the fact that they sacked Sean Dyche, or the announcement was announced a couple of hours or a few hours before the kickoff, the FA Cup game kickoff on Thursday. I didn't like. I don't think if you rarely see a club sack a manager before kickoff that same day, and it's one of those things that happens. And I feel it was more the reporting as it's not quite sack, but it's more like a mutual consent situation where he acknowledges that he can't take the club further than he can right now. that the club needs someone who can unite everybody on side. He has a unifying voice, and he's currently not that person. I feel he acknowledged that, and he agreed with whatever they proposed, and they both went their ways. But what's interesting is now they've gone back to the manager that made Everton, well, in our time, the manager that made Everton great, or one of the best Premier League teams at that time, that David Moyes, who's come back after 11 years at the club. So after 11 years away, they brought him back. And how do you feel about first? How do you feel
Can I
about Sean?
can I
How do you feel about Sean Dyche?
can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Moyes left Everton so many years ago. He
yeah,
went to
yeah.
West Ham, the
Oh,
last club he
United.
worked
Yeah,
for. Yeah, we
he went.
United, I think Real Sociedad and all those,
Yeah,
Sunderland and all those. But
Sunderland. Yeah,
the last club he coached was West Ham, right?
yeah,
His contract ran out and it wasn't renewed, right?
yeah, yeah.
Why was it not renewed? What do you think?
I
What was
think
the main reason? So many reasons. What was the main reason?
there was a lot of pushback from the fans and certain people in the media that Sean Dyche, sorry, David Moyes was not exactly the manager the club needed to
He wasn't
play
the West Ham way.
how they felt exactly,
The
play the
West
West
Ham
Ham
way.
way.
For
No,
boring
which
football. For
no,
boring
relax,
football.
what
So
and
you sack Dyche for playing boring football and you bring David Moyes. That was
okay, okay,
renewed.
And I feel this is one of the times where I would agree with you, but I feel with this David Moyes a bit to add. The David Moyes is interesting to add a bit of context because David Moyes got Everton West Ham to the highest point tally in the Premier League a
No.
couple of
I'm not.
seasons.
I'm not looking at the points. I understand what
No,
I'm
but
saying. No,
so so so
I
so
get it. I
so
can go into more
it
context.
comes so it comes down to this debate where people have what matters most. Is it the results and the points, or stylistically how you get those results and points? And this is
Three
what I feel like
Premier League,
about.
three Premier League clubs that always complain about style every time. This is the West Ham way. The what way? The what way? West Ham, Everton recently, and then Tottenham. They don't
Yeah,
look at the result. Nottingham Forest have been winning games. Nobody talking about the Nottingham way or whatever. Wolves was playing the same way. Nobody was talking. Chelsea was playing according to them one of the most boring football. Fans were not complaining. These three
yeah,
clubs don't look at where you take them or where you are. They look at the style of play.
yeah.
West
That's
Everton
true.
fans complain under Roberto Martinez. Oh, he's conceding so many goals.
It's taking too much
Marco
risk
Silva
passing out
came.
of the back.
Oh,
Yeah,
Martinez. Marco Silva came in. They complain about his style. It's boring.
he didn't
Now look
understand
at what
British. He didn't
Fulham is.
understand the club.
Yeah, look at what Fulham is doing right now. They are winning. Nobody's talking
Yeah,
about the Fulham way or what. So in
yeah,
essence, I'm just trying to say that if you sacked Dyche and appointed somebody else that could play attractive football, I would have
yeah,
understood. You
yeah.
appointed
I agree. I agree.
exactly the same thing. So
You
continue. Yeah,
And
I'll
and and it's also interesting to look at the bigger picture in this discussion because Everton are currently owned by or newly owned by the American group from
Franklin Group. Franklin Group.
the freaking group, but they also own or have stakes in an Italian club, AS Roma, where the club they recently sacked Jose Mourinho last season and they brought in Daniele De Rossi as head coach. And this season they sacked two managers this season. But they've ultimately gone back to one person that was an ex coach a few years ago, Claudio Ranieri, who seems to have stable the ship. So if you want your ownership to have a forward thinking mindset in terms of how you get players in, sign players, the kind of football you want your
I'm
team
sorry,
to play.
sorry to cut you short. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I want to add more context to what you said. You know they sacked Jose Mourinho, right? Which was it could be popular unpopular decision depending on who you ask. But I think it was more unpopular than it was popular. They sacked
it
him.
was
They
yeah,
brought in the
yeah,
Rossi. They brought in the Rossi. They sacked the Rossi. The Rossi was purely unpopular. The fans revolted. The fans didn't want
yeah,
him to go.
yeah.
Now, do you know that particular incident or that particular action claimed the career, the Roma career of a lady who was it the sporting director or something like that
s-
in Roma.
CEO, who's the
Yes,
CEO
CEO.
of
Who
the
is
club.
she's now? She. I was so happy for her. She's now in, is
She's
it Nottingham Forest or something like that?
Nottingham Forest, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because the
So
fans did not understand the owners. Yeah,
she
they
was
attacked her.
she was the target of much criticism, and also there's also been a lot of people have had this criticism with the ownership that they're not quite present at the club. And it's also interesting to see on after the match after they announced the overall takeover, nobody was present at the first match. They only had they had one board director there, but no figure from high up the ownership group was at the club in the match against Chelsea and Everton. So it just feels like because I feel what a lot of people want right now, they want the Brighton model, they want the Brighton, the Bournemouth model, where you get young, exciting managers, add young, exciting players from around the world. You put those two together and you get exciting football. Where sometimes it goes up and down in terms of where you are in the table, but the brand of football is very sweet. Is the good kind of football you play. You have exciting players coming through your team, young, exciting players, a lot of pace. There's a lot to be loved about those clubs. But I feel with Everton and with this direction now with David Moyes, I feel it's I hate to say because I have a lot of respect for David Moyes. I feel if I'm an Everton fan, I'm a bit. It's if had David Moyes coming for like a short term contract, like a year or two, like see out the season, then you take us in next year or just a 6 months contract. That's fine. But I'll be a bit. It's not. It doesn't feel exciting. It doesn't feel like a long term plan in my opinion. I guess sometimes you don't quite necessarily need a long term plan when you're just trying to survive your current status, maintain your status as the Premier League team, then you go again next season. But I feel this might just be another case where, like we've seen with Leicester, where you sack the coach gets blamed for all the ills at the club. They get sacked, you bring in another lovable coach, for instance, Rod Van Nistelrooy. You get a couple wins or few points on board. But since then, it's not been bad. It's not been good enough because ultimately the team is not good enough. And there's a limit to the amount of there's a limit amount of miracles you can do with the team that's not just good enough. But I feel Everton they feel I don't know to what extent their neighbours in Merseyside blur their opinions about how they see the club because it's hard to see your because it's a two city club and it's hard to see or I think there's smaller clubs in the lower leagues in Liverpool as well. But the two biggest clubs are in the Premier League, Everton and Liverpool. And with Liverpool about to win the league title, or looking like they could win the league title, and Everton are just stuck in this limbo situation where you don't know what's quite happening. And I guess it's comfortable to turn to a loving figure, an authoritative figure like David Moyes, who's going to bring, he's going to have the trust of a lot of fans on side. He's going to bring stability to the club. He's going to bring core values of what the club should be like. But I just feel it's not really an
Uh,
exciting appointment long term. But I could be
I'll,
wrong as
I'll,
well. So
this is a very big topic. We could talk this topic for like 6 hours non-stop. I have a whole
yeah,
lot to say, but
no, serious,
I
yes,
will, I will,
let's
I will lean on statistics. Sean
yeah,
Dyche, 8 wins in a calendar year in the
yeah,
league. 8-4, abysmal. 8 wins in a calendar
yeah,
year. Won 3 league games in his last 19 games.
yeah,
3 league wins in last 19 games. Abysmal. Everton failed to score in 11 different games this season.
yeah,
Abysmal. 15 goals conceded this season. 15 goals scored, sorry. 15 goals scored this season. Only
yeah.
better than Southampton. That is bad. That is terrible. In 83 games, league games, Everton scored only 99 goals under him. You can't win games if you don't score. That means like it's like
Yeah,
1.01 goals a game. Thomas
yeah,
Frank
yeah.
at Brentford, 80 games. Brentford scored 112 goals. That is a little better. Marco Silva, 80 games. Fulham scored 120 games, 20 goals.
In the calendar year of 2024.
Yeah. No, the
That's
last league
the
games.
last eight games. Okay,
Yeah, in
okay.
80 games, yeah. So 83 in the last 80 games for Sean Dyche, 83 games, 99 goals. Tomo Frank, 80 games, 112 goals. Marco Silva,
112.
yeah, so he scored like 20 goals more than
Yeah,
sorry, not 20 goals, like 13 goals more than Everton. 13
yeah,
goals might not be much, but imagine how many wins. If you score
yeah.
one,
It
if it's
gets.
50, you understand what I'm trying to say. Then Marco
I get.
Silva, 80 games, 120 goals. So Fulham scored 20 goals more than Everton. So you look at this record, you see how bad it is. Like it's difficult to keep him. But two things can be right at the same time. Am I shocked that he's sacking? I'm still shocked. I wouldn't have sacked the man. The problem
Yeah,
with Everton, I think the fans have failed to understand is Everton to me, has the worst scouting in the Premier League. They scout so terrible. You look at the
yeah,
players they brought in. So you are
yeah,
putting it all on the coach. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was scoring 21 goals. He had the best season scoring 21 goals. That season they had James Rodriguez, they had so many players. But that was the season they went backwards instead of going forward because they
yeah,
committed the money to Carlo Ancelotti, who should have gone to Arsenal. But because they decided to pay him better and his son David Ancelotti, they got a higher paycheck and they brought them back. They put their hands, they tried to hang their bag where their hands cannot reach, and they brought them and they committed money towards those. Remember, they had the Brazilian guy
yeah.
Alan from
They had,
Napoli.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
bad. It
They had
set them
Allen.
back. They've never
They had
recovered since that period. Now, what has happened?
um,
What has happened is they've started being pinchy, not signing. Look at their players. Is it Mikolinko or whatever? The left back. He's
Mikalenko.
not rated. You look at
Yeah,
Patterson. He's not rated. They had a
yeah.
small boy from Aston Villa who I like so well, but he's still far from me. I love him so much. Irregular. I admire him. They had Ghana. Look at Beto. They are strikers. They had a boy from Chelsea who is injured again. Broya. He's injured
Bro, yeah.
again. I'm sad for him. Boya was listening. Boya has scored like 20 league goals in his career. They
I
had
don't.
him. They had Beto. So
I
who's
don't think
going
he
to
scored
get the
20
goals? I'm
goals.
looking at Dominic Calvert-Lewin. 2 goals this season. He hasn't scored in
Mm.
15 goals, 15 games.
Yes.
So you put
No,
all this on the coach. The
because
coach
I
has
know,
to
like,
play. You understand what I'm trying to
because
say? The coach has to play
I
the
know.
way he played because he wants to get results. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to be in the Premier League? Next season, you can do whatever you want to do. You can start on a clean sheet. But right
Yeah.
now, you shouldn't be thinking about the coach. Just get through, get to the end. Because right now, I can tell you, you can think they're safe. They are not safe. Remember,
No,
David
no,
Moyes
no,
was
no,
brought
no
in.
safe.
David Moyes was brought in to save Sunderland. Sunderland went down, if you can remember very well.
Yeah, I remember.
So you,
I
you
remember
can't
that
tell
season.
me he's too big to go down. He's not.
And it's also because if you look at the current Premier League table, so from the teams from the 15th position, that's Crystal Palace, Everton, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Ipswich, Leicester City, and Southampton. I feel if you look at their spends individually in the last 18 months or the last 2 years, I don't think Everton will come up top in that category. I don't think Everton is really invested. And I saw a joke on social media this last night where the guy basically says Everton they've gone out, they've done they've when they had to replace Idrissa Gana Gueye who left a few years ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Paris Saint-Germain, when they had to replace him, they had to replace Idrissa Gana Gueye by signing Idrissa Gana Gueye again
yeah.
after I left Paris Saint-Germain. And I think that's almost the same. That's same thing they're doing now, where you have to replace a coach that's not really performed well stylistically or performed well with how the team plays, scoring goals, winning games. You've gone about it by replacing him with another coach who was for the same criticism was labeled at him 6 months ago at West Ham. So I feel with it, but there's also the intangibles that you can also talk about. And with David Moyes, the intangibles is the fact that he will get most of the fans back on side, which that's for a club like Everton,
But hold on, this is
that's
I don't,
massive. No,
I
no,
don't
that's
like
massive.
cutting you short. I don't like cutting you short. Hold on. I don't
No,
like
no, no,
cutting you
free, free,
short.
free.
But I don't like it. But this is like I told you, I can talk about this topic all day. Do
Yeah,
you
yeah,
remember where West Ham finished last season? On that, I'm a fan of David Moyes. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
I felt West Ham were ungrateful to him for what he won a trophy in West Ham. But
Mm.
now the problem I'm having is Moyes and Dyche. Moyes is a more successful Dyche. You look at the players David Moyes went to battle with. Leon Osman. Steven Pienaar was his most creative player. He had
Yeah.
Leon Osman. You understand? This guy played something Cahill,
Tim
something
Cahill,
Cahill as a striker. This
Tim
is a man
Cahill.
that was playing Fellaini as a striker. Like
Yeah,
you understand? I was watching Osman yesterday, and I remember I said, hold on, this is the kind of player. So David Moyes is not an interesting manager. He's far from it. He gets results, don't get me wrong. Now, if you remember when the West Ham finished last season, was it 14th? There was a season they finished 14th. They were struggling. I
I
think the
think it's
season they won the cup. The season they won the European Cup, the Conference League or something like that. They finished like
yeah.
14th. They kept losing. So thinking that you bring so no matter what David Moyes know, even if it's his father's house, they are not sure of escaping relegation. That's all I'm trying
Oh,
to say.
yeah, they definitely need a bit of and like they and even from that team needs a bit of creativity, a bit of pace. It feels like Camilo when he has some contracts. Um, he has a contract stalemate to the club. It feels like it's almost out of the club right now.
Then who's going to
So
pick him?
so I don't know. But that's what you get with David Moyes. Because if David Moyes comes in, can he convince your best striker, your
I'm not.
star
I'm not
striker?
extending. I'm not extending that guy's contract. I'm not extending. Calvin Lewin has been dead for more than 3 seasons now. Understand what I'm trying to? Except to
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
as
yeah.
the goal. The
Oh,
only person who can take Calvin Lewin is a newly promoted side.
Bonnie.
A newly promoted. How? Like understand? You watch the game. You watch it with your eyes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, see, yeah. You know
Like he
what?
has
See,
injury. He's not. He Everton are where they are today because they don't score enough. The only four players that I think in Everton have done good. The two players are their most important players. Ndeye, the guy they have from Marseille,
Arsenal
McNeil,
good.
McNeil who has gone injured, who has gone down
Brett,
injured, and
Braithwaite,
he,
Braithwaite.
but he came out late. Then you look at Pickford because of some of the saves, and then the mentality of Ashley Young or whatever. It's not really
Yeah,
how to, but the mentality and how that every other player in that team is producing below what is expected of them.
I understand. Because like you said, this is a topic you can flesh out for several hours. But I feel just in closing, I feel in the moment it's a good appointment, but the job is not done. The new owners need to help. I felt they needed to help whoever the coach was, but now that it's David Moyes, you need to help get him players that fit into his overall ethos or his game model, and get if they can get one or two players in the general window, because that is always it's a notorious window to sign players, but there are players you can pick that haven't played enough games, like Ben Chilwell, for example, who if you can get a fit Chilwell, he adds a lot to that team, and just see how you finish the season. Hopefully, I personally believe they'll be okay. They'll be okay. They will stay clear of relegation. And not just because of that, not down to their merit, because the teams that in the race with the Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich, I feel those three teams like go back down. But it will be interesting to see, and those is also I'm always happy to see one or if not two of them in the Premier League. Where I still feel we need coaches like David Moyes, Sam Allardyce, some that we still need because they bring variety to the Premier League. They make because if you have a league where everybody just trying to be like Pep or trying to an imitation, a copy of what Man City are, but it's just a bad copy. It's not really an exciting situation. I feel with managers like Thomas Frank, who's also of that ilk. Another coach who's doing well again. Nuno at Nottingham Forest,
Yeah.
who can understand this where Sean Dyche is coming from, where he's had this when he was at Tottenham, but he didn't really get a lot of love at Tottenham because he wasn't really exciting. But I'm happy to see him doing well and proving his doubters wrong that you don't necessarily have to be uh playing champagne football to get good results in the Premier League. You can go about it in different ways, and there's always space and there's always room for managers like that, and I always to look for guys like that to succeed because it's improved the Premier League as a brand and the competitive nature of it as well. So
Let's move to the. I get it. Let's move to the next topic.
another ma-
A much more
another
better
manager
topic.
another manager
Yeah,
sacked.
yeah. Graham Potter. West Ham. This one's the conducted business in a very bad way. I didn't like the
Yeah,
way they
this
did it.
this is this is
Jonathan Lopetegui didn't deserve to be at West Ham. He deserved the sack like 6 games into the season. That is good, but the way they treated him was terrible. He
Yeah,
was
I agree.
about to take coaching. He was training. His news was all,
Eh,
and I feel West Ham were the
eh,
ones that leaked the news. And this is
Yeah,
why I don't have sympathy for managers. I don't. I don't really feel bad when they are sacked because managers replace managers.
yeah.
They make it look
No,
like the
because
owners are terrible, but it's not the owners, it's the
yeah,
managers.
but
Look at Graham Potter, who was crying about Chelsea. This. He was already in the hotel or whatever
it was
with the.
it was the night before the news was official. He was spotted in at a hotel in London with the sporting director of West Ham.
Yeah.
That's
So,
that
but
that
for tomorrow,
that's that's just that's bad. That's bad.
yeah, and then they couldn't sack Lopetegui because he changed his mind. Remember when Leicester called him and then he said he was going to take over. All of a sudden, he said he needed some more days to think about it. The big guy in Leicester appointed Steve Cooper in place of him. Now, West Ham met him so many weeks ago. He agreed for a 6 months contract. When it became apparent they needed him, he decided he didn't need a 6 months again. He needed 2.5 years, and which caused the small little delay in the appointment. Now he has a good record, but I've never been a fan of Potter. Lopetegui, I
No,
thought
no, no. I am. I am.
I've
I
never.
am.
This is my problem. This is my problem. This is why I went back to look at his record. He was a coach at Ostergund. He won 3 promotions. He won the
Yeah.
Svenska Cupen. I think it's like the FA Cup, and he qualified for Europa League. I don't doubt him for that. I trust him. Okay, he's good. Now, let me give you an example of what I look Potter as. Just like something Hodgson. What's his name? Is he Harry Hodgson?
Roy,
The former
Roy
England
Hodgson.
coach, Roy Hodgson.
In-
I
Roy
look at
Hodgson. Yeah.
Hodgson's CV. I look at so many places he didn't do good in Inter Milan. There are so many clubs, but he stabilized a lot of clubs. He was very, very
Yeah.
good at Crystal Palace the first time. He was good at Fulham. So this guy is not a Hodgson. He's a baby
Yeah.
Hodgson. He's 1.0. Now, after that, he went to Swansea. He finished 10th in his first season, and Swansea allowed him to move to Brighton. At Brighton, his first season, he finished 15th. 41 points, their joint highest. The second season, he finished 16th. The third season, he finished 9th. This is a 3-year project. So, it's a lot of time to finish 15th before you understand what I'm trying to say.
I
It's a
know,
long time.
I know. But it's also interesting. It's also important to add at the point where he took over the Brighton job. Brighton were a team that just come into the Premier League the year before, survived,
But the guy
and
kept them
and
up.
yeah, he kept them above.
Hawkson kept them up, yeah?
Yeah, he kept them. But for Brighton, it wasn't. They didn't want to be in a relegation scrap season after season. They wanted to evolve into something else. And I think that's the job we need to judge Graham Potter by, of how he's taking a club that, and this is one of those situations where it's bigger than results on the pitch, and it's bigger than points tally at the end of the season. Because what Brighton are as a football club right now, it's down to Graham Potter's work at the club. Not
No,
just
no,
him, but also
no, I don't think it's Graham Potter. I think it's a club. Because
no, yeah, yeah,
Brighton is
but
way
you
better than it was when he was there. So it's an indictment that you are not as. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
no,
discrediting the man.
yeah, yeah,
I'm saying
no,
that the club put a structure that succeeds irrespective of who is in charge.
but you
You look
still,
at
but
you look at this guy.
okay. No, no. I'll say, okay. I'll ask you this question: who do you think is responsible for turning? Obviously, the club signs these players, but who do you think who do you give credit to for developing
Porter.
and nurturing?
I
And
look
wait,
at them.
wait, wait,
Porter is
wait,
Porter. It's
wait,
Porter.
wait, wait,
Bizuma,
wait,
McAllister,
wait.
Ivan
Nurturing
Ferguson,
players.
Caicedo,
Yes,
Lamptey,
McAllister.
Dunk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So that's
Porter.
what I'm saying. Like his overall work cannot just be judged in the football context. You have to look at the business side and the overall club development, where you get a manager that is stable enough. He's a very good coach by all accounts, and he knows how to get the best out of players in variety of positions and how to develop players. So when you get all these gems from Japan or from Ecuador or from Spain, you bring them in and you put them in a system that is his design, and they are flourishing that system, and you end up, and a majority of these players have gone off for big money. Not, I'm talking about close to £300 million worth of talent that's left the
Yeah,
club in the last two
yeah,
years, because
yeah.
a lot of people have seen the talent they've shown, but also they've seen the talent they've shown in a system designed by Graham Potter. So is that not for the club? Is that not a bigger win for the club than finishing, say,
No,
seventh,
no, but
eighth,
you
or
don't understand.
ninth?
I get you. No, no, you don't understand. I get you. I give him
Okay,
credit.
okay,
I called the names. If not for him, these players will not be where they are as present, right?
yeah.
We develop the players, he nurture the player. But the problem I'm having with Potter is the progression, the transmission or the transition is so slow. You're looking at 4 years. It's a lot of time in football. And let me give you
No,
an
I know.
example. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. You're looking at West Ham. West Ham, I don't care what anybody says. People, I don't live in, I don't live in London. I've visited. I don't live in London, but they make fun of them and they tell them they think they are big clubs. Bobby Moore or whatever, the goalkeeper or something.
Peter
So they
Shilton
make fun of them. They
or
make fun of
Banks?
them and all those. But I looked at yesterday's game. I'll call 4 players for you. Paqueta, Kudus, Wan Bissaka, Jarrah Bowen. You look at the game against Aston Villa. They had these 4 players. These 4 players can start for Villa.
Yeah,
Jarrah
yeah. They
Bowen,
can.
Paqueta, Wan Bissaka, and
No,
said.
no. I'll go as far as saying they can start for every. They can start for
But
the
you
best
understand?
team.
So to me, West Ham is not a regular club. They are a big club. With the recruitment, to me, people say
Yeah,
they don't have the players. I say they have the players. You look at the second caliber of players, Somerville. People are raving about Archie in Tottenham. Archie
yeah,
was not as good as Somerville was for Leeds United when they were in the championship last season.
yeah,
Somerville was the engine room for
yeah.
them.
But but
Suchek gets
but
you
I
goals. Alvarez is not
but
bad.
but I know. But this is where you then make that decision because you've signed all these exciting players, and you also have these exciting players. But what they were serving up in with the ex-coach Julian Lopetegui as coach wasn't really good enough. So that's why with Graham
No,
Potter,
but
who
West
has
Ham, if you finish 15th, 15th in West Ham, you're getting the sack. They are not a Brighton.
yeah, I
Understand what
understand.
I'm
And
all I'm trying to
yeah,
say is
that's
he
true.
doesn't work good
That's
under
true.
pressure. He went
I
to
know, I know,
Chelsea, he struggled.
but
This is
that's
a
Chelsea.
coach
So
that wants to be in a club where everything is there, he's cool, Ipswich kind of club. You understand what I'm trying to say? Whatever.
yeah,
But
but
in
this
West
is
Ham,
I
watch
know,
him.
I know, but this is the test now for Graham Potter because it was quite obvious that the Chelsea job was a step so far for him. Then he obviously left that job. Then okay, where he's landed at West Ham, and if it turns out if he can't get West Ham or get a tune out of West Ham to say they finish wherever they expect to finish, well, it has to be the product has to be good. But he won't have the time he had at Brighton.
But
That's for a fact.
okay,
He won't have the
Nottingham
time and
Forest.
the patience.
Let me take you back. Nottingham Forest, right?
Yeah,
This guy was struggling in Forest. Steve Cooper was struggling in Forest. He saved them
yeah,
up. He was struggling second season. He was sacked, and the fans were not happy. Majority of the fans were not happy. Steve Cooper was sacked, and they brought in Nuno Espirito Santo. This
yeah.
is a club. You look at Wolves.
Okay.
Gary, what's his name?
That's Gary O'Neill.
Gary O'Neill was struggling. Yes, the majority of the fans wanted him to be sacked. Sometimes
Okay.
they booed him, but there are some clubs that give you that stability. Wolves gives you, Nottingham Forest gives you. West Ham is not that kind of club. Immediately, West Ham have complained about every coach. They've had Sam Allardyce, they've had
Do you?
Pellegrini. So this guy is in a club where he has to start producing. It's not the patience is not there like in Brighton. Understand what I'm
That's
trying to say?
yeah, that's true. I agree
So
with that. I
now
agree with
tomorrow he will come back and write a book if he fails and say, "Oh, I had
that.
50 players." I feel the guy is so overrated. Like
Why you no no
you,
I, no
you
no
knew what you were working in when you went to Chelsea.
yeah
Don't get me wrong. I don't blame him for the. Don't get me wrong. I don't blame him for
no
whatever
no
happened in Chelsea.
I
No,
blame him
the
no I
owners,
blame him
no,
no
the
no no no
owners are
no
at fault
no
for that. You can't sign
no
those
no
kind
no
of
no
players in
no
first place.
no no
But the problem
no
I'm having is
I
he
disagree.
could
I
have done
disagree.
better. He didn't do better. But he appears in interview. No. Look at
So you're
Crystal Palace. They give you time. Roy Hodgson, I don't know why they sacked Vieira. I don't know. But apart from Vieira, they've given they were battling relegation beginning of the season, but it's too early. But they give you time. West Ham is not that kind of a club. You have to start producing. And by the
okay.
end of the season, he's expected to produce.
Yeah, true. That's true. And it's and this is probably what will make or break Graham Potter as a coach in the Premier League. Because if you then lose the West Ham job, and it's quite clear that you know what you're basically a one trick pony where you need the comfort of your environment at Brighton, the patience with the club.
He went on
Because
2 years sabbatical when he didn't play in Chelsea. two
yeah, I know.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He's been
wasn't even in public. He wasn't photographed.
sorry, but you got but no,
Mentally,
no, 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 no.
I
Wait,
don't think he
no,
has
no,
what it
wait.
takes.
No, no, wait. But if you get that bumper, that a massive
Yeah.
payoff from Chelsea, what would you do with it? Well, you won't dive into the next job immediately. You
And
take a
I
bit of
think they
time.
still pay you. They still pay you until you get another
Yeah,
job.
yeah. But
I
also,
think so. It might be financial also.
yeah, and I know, and I feel and I also feel it's gotten to a point where there's been so many jobs available in the last 2 years, and I feel with every job that comes around, he's always been linked to to those clubs. And it just comes to a point where you have to come back to the football world so you can again show you still have it. But it's I personally I don't think West Ham is a good fit for Graham Potter.
I don't think so.
I I feel personally Everton would have been a better place for him. But then again, I
Yeah,
could
but
also be
West Ham
wrong.
have better players.
Yeah, and but that's the problem because if you have better players, you're expected to produce better
Yeah, yeah,
results.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
if you have a group of young underachieving players where you can easily mold and coach and get the
Yeah,
better of
yeah,
them,
yeah. West Ham, yeah, yeah, yeah,
then
yeah,
you
yeah.
bring in one or two from the academy as well. But of course, with West Ham now, what it's going to look like in the next 18 months, few of the star players
But
will.
West Ham doesn't have
Oh,
academy players again after so many years. The
yeah,
last person was Declan Rice, and it's
but
partially Chelsea.
yeah, but
How did West Ham make him?
and that's the problem with West Ham because when you keep
Oh, Mark
getting
Noble, yeah, Mark Noble. Oh,
There's Mark Noble, there's been
that one they sold to West Bromwich Albion, one left footer.
yeah, there's been they've not really had one or two that have come out in the last 3 years. But well, I know it's I think all this discussion is a bit it's funny because all this could be it could go both ways in terms of how Potter performs at West Ham and the expectation from there. But again, it would be interesting to see how. Well, I'm happy to see him back in Premier League because I believe he's a good coach. He's one of those coaches that has created a pathway for a lot of younger coaches like the likes of Vincent Company, even Russell Martin. You can answer that is successful, but that's a different question. But it's always good to have him back in the Premier League, and it will be interesting to see the reception he gets when he comes back to Chelsea in a couple of months.
Okay, let's go to the next one quickly. Your guy Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
Do you? Then I'll bring up an argument. I'll bring up something. I'll bring up something statistically. You know, I love stats so much. I
Okay.
love stats.
Let's
So
go.
I'll bring up something I just found out. Do you think Alexander Isak is the best Premier League? Is the Let's go with the Premier League first. Do you think he's the best number nine? Not forward. I didn't say forward because Salah is a
The,
forward.
the best
But
number.
do you
Yeah,
think he's the
yeah.
best
Honestly,
striker? Yeah.
you know what? Had you asked me this question, well, okay, I'll start with this. For the last 2 years, I personally have created the best strikers in Premier League as the guy at Man City, number nine Man City, the
Mhm.
Norwegian.
Yeah,
Then
Haaland.
Then Isaac, Ollie
Mhm.
Watkins, and the rest is an open field for everybody to fight for positions. But this season it was obviously Erling Haaland, Isaac, but with recent performances with Man City, when Man City have had their difficult months, it coincided with the rise of Isaac. And where I look at it, I put it out on our group chat like without a doubt, Isaac is the best Premier League striker right now currently. And I feel this is also why I feel so because this he has so much to his game, where he's more than a goal scorer. He's a fantastic goal scorer, but he's a fantastic player, that's incredible. What he can do on the football pitch is unimaginable. He can do everything. And it's getting to a point where you're starting to see that Arsenal connection or the number 14 on his back. He plays like a certain Arsenal legend as well. And I feel he might just be I'm not going to say the next Henry or whatever, but I feel he's one of the closest players I've seen. One of the closest players I've seen Henry, the way he moves with the ball, the confidence he has, the swagger, which because right now he's playing like he expects to score a goal, at least a goal every game now.
Every game, yeah, yeah.
And
He's
and,
playing
and
like Mohamed Salah right now, and
exactly,
that's
he's
how Palmer played last season. But
yeah,
that
exactly.
every game you just feel he has to score.
You know, whenever I get that notification, not Newcastle scored, Isaac. And I feel and this is the development where you want to see with a lot of young players where he moves to Borussia Dortmund early. It doesn't quite work out. Then he goes on few loans, leaves the club. Then he goes to Spain. He has a fantastic season, or one fantastic season in 3 years in terms of his output. Then he has a season where he doesn't really score a lot of goals. Then he makes the big move to Newcastle as one of their big signings with the new investment group. But since then, he's been. I feel this is a player we've seen. I don't know if a lot of people have paid attention to it, but we've seen develop in the last 2 3 years. Because when he first went to
Yeah,
Newcastle, he was playing on the left channel with Callum Wilson, where they tried to get two of them in the team at the same time. But it was okay, but it didn't quite work. But now you're seeing the final product. You're seeing
I also feel playing having I'll don't worry when you finish. I'll explain
Yeah.
to you what I
So
have in
so
mind.
so now you're seeing the final product where he's playing with fantastic players, Anthony Gordon. But also feel there's been one player that I feel that's helped Isaac or improved his overall game in the last few months, and that's Gimares at Newcastle, where is since Tonali has gone to the holding midfield position, Gimares has gone a bit forward, so he has more freedom. And when you have a player that can find you instantly with those passes into space. It gives you the ability to finish and create chances. But I feel without a doubt, he's the best striker in Premier League. I'll finally, I'll end this on. If you put him in Man City, for example, and you take out the Norwegian striker, I don't think he scores as many goals as Erling Haaland scores, 30, 40 goals a season. But he will definitely make Man City a better team than Haaland does.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what
yeah.
what I mean by that, yeah, he can probably score 10, 15 goals, but everybody around him will eat. And you're
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
it because you see it with Murphy, Jacob Murphy, who's been,
I have
he's been in and out, he's been in and out in the Premier League. But Jacob Murphy is looking like a fantastic player because he's playing next to a fantastic player, Anthony Gordon as well. So I feel for me, I have no doubt he's currently the best.
I have the start to buttress your point. Let me buttress your point for that. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Tell me.
This is 18 games, 3 goals, 4 assists, right?
Yeah,
13 goals, 4 assists. Whenever I bring stats, I bring Premier League. It's
yeah,
Premier League.
no, yeah,
I go with the
this,
league, yeah, because across
yeah,
all competitions. So 18 games, 13 goals, 4 assists. Okay, that's the start. Last season, 30 Premier League games, 21 goals, 2 assists. That is good.
yeah.
The best season he had in La Liga with Real, is this Zaragoza or Sociedad? I forgot one of
Because
them.
in 2021.
2020, 2021,
Yeah,
34 games, La Liga games, 17 goals, 2 assists. He's played 34 games and recorded 2 assists. Right now, he's playing 13 games, recording 4 assists. That means he's getting better. Now, this is where
yeah.
it will shock you. Per 90 minutes every game, he creates 1.90 chances every game, which is very
Exactly.
big, which is huge.
That's massive.
Now,
That's
successful dribbles 1.6, 47% successful. Not impressive, but not really impressive. Opposition box touches, very impressive, 7.112. 7.12. That means
yeah,
he stays a lot in the opposition box.
yeah.
He
Do
doesn't
you have
drift out. He
do
drifts
you
out,
have
but
do you have a stat
he,
for his expected
I have
assist?
everything. I have
You
everything.
have
I have
everything. Ah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
defensively, he's
I'm
not a good defensive. He's
no,
not
you
a good
do.
defensive, but he
No,
has an impressive blocks of 0.98 blocks. I don't know why the block percentage is so impressive. I don't know why it's impressive. He
yeah,
doesn't intercept. He does, but the blocks is so massive, 0.98. That means he records 1 block every game. Now, expected assists, very, very impressive for a striker. 0.15 expected assists. Expected assists, and he's delivering 4 assists. So when you
that's
check 0.15 expected assists, it's close to his 4 assists, right?
yeah,
Then expected goals 0.72 expected goals.
yeah,
And he's scoring at the rate of, so expected assists is 0.15 expected
yeah,
assists. but the assist right now is 0.25. That means he's over delivering on his expected. That means he's playing with better
Yeah, yeah.
teammates who are converting those chances. That's what it just tells you. Then
Jacob
expected
Murphy,
goal
Anthony
0.
Gordon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or to the God expected goal 0.72 per game. He's at 0.80. So it's almost the same thing. So that means he's converting the chances. That tells you he's a prolific striker. He scores. That tells you it's not that he's scoring a very difficult goals. You understand what I'm trying to say? But he's just delivering what you
He-
give him, he delivers. Now,
exactly. And
this is where it shocks you. This is where it shocks you. He's 6 foot 4 inches. He's
yeah.
in his prime. He's 25 years old. This is what I found out. Area dwells won percentage 13%. That means aerially he's poor. I
Mm,
didn't realize
yeah.
that until I checked it. Did you
Yeah.
notice? I didn't realize aerially he doesn't really help.
Yeah, I know, but also feel that's not just a he's a product of the footballing world these days where very few strikers now we're seeing a lot of strikers coming back the old fashion number nine that was good with headers, but not a lot of strikers in the last 10 years have a lot of teams will look more at your pressing statistics more than your aerial duel percentage. So I feel
This
he's
we are going to go
so
into somebody else. We are not going to talk about United today. I have another argument I'm bringing up after the statistics. I'm going to
okay.
bring somebody else statistics. To now
Okay.
defensive actions, 8% defensive action.
No,
I
that's
didn't
good.
realize that 8%.
Per 90 minutes.
That means he just presses.
Yeah, he's well,
He
yeah,
has only like
but,
one yellow card or two yellow cards all season. So that means he doesn't really, he
yeah,
just
he's a
presses.
very
After pressing, that's all. Chances created, 91%. That is high. Then goals, 95%. This will shock you. Shot attempts, 83%. That means he shoots regularly.
yeah, but
So,
okay,
but
but
what it
also
tells you, the most important thing is that the team has balance.
yeah.
The team that is, I rate Eddie Howe. If
No,
Chelsea
no,
had appointed him, I look at United. I like if I will welcome
I've
Eddie
told
Howe
you,
with open hands with Chelsea.
I've told you for
I didn't
years.
like him before. You kept
I've,
raving
I've
about him
I
on
think,
channel.
I think,
I love
no,
Eddie Howe.
I think he, I
So
believe he's one of those coaches that needs. I need to see him at a top. What I mean, I'm talking about Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, United soon
if
because
I
the
mean, I'll
manager.
still try before moving to Arsenal. I won't lie. I think it might not work this way.
Yeah,
The Newcastle team is very, very settled. You have Jolinton, you have Tonal, you have Gomes. The team. So
but
to
it's
him,
but it's
even
but
if he
it's,
doesn't perform defensively, he has everybody performing. Because if you look at Gordon's defensive, Gordon might have up to 40%, which means Gordon and Murphy do the defensive work for him. Now he goes to an Arsenal system. I don't know. Left to me, I would just say they are going to pay him better. You might not win the title. Think twice before you move.
I know, but just like from the perspective of an observer who's observed him for the last, I think, the last 10 years or so, or eight or so. He has a unique style of football where it seems like it's quite basic on the surface level, but if you look into it, if you look at the set piece movements Newcastle have, it's always innovative, and he always gets the best out of the player he has currently in the team. The Callum Wilson, for example, Max Grado, Mark Ritchie, all those type of guys, Nathan Ake in the past. But back to Isaac, I feel with Isaac, the challenge now for Isaac will be can he can he get to that level, that Salah level where it's not just goals, but because if he's can he stay fit for a large chunk of the season? Because I'm looking at it now, he doesn't since he's been at Newcastle, he's had 17 starts his first season, 27 starts, and is getting progressively better. This season he hasn't missed a game. He's started 18 games this season.
Yeah, but
So
he didn't start fully fit. I think he had
yeah,
problem
he's
beginning of the
been
season,
yeah,
like first
he's
3 games or
been
5 games.
they've they've been managing. I think he has not an injury, but I think they always take him out the last 10 minutes
Yeah.
or the last 15. They always that man because I feel he's that good now where you have to talk about it. And with Newcastle's financial capabilities in the transfer window, where they have this because of the whole PSL situation. If they don't make European football next season, I'm sure a lot of clubs, not just in the Premier League, a lot of clubs, Barcelona for one, if Bayern Munich for one, would be looking at him as one of as a good opportunity because he's so.
But making European football, is it best for them? Because when they're in Europe, they remember at the
No,
beginning of this season I told
it's
you
good.
I
No,
feel
no,
Chelsea will make top four because Villa is in Europe. Because Villa will not have the resources to play the league and play Europe, and it has affected Villa. So do you yes, they have
yeah,
to make
no,
money. They make money
no,
from the
no, they have
Champions
to.
League. But
No, they have to because that's how you grow as a football club. Because we've seen with even with Man City when Man City came to when they came into this riches, they had to get into the Champions League was the goal, but not just getting into, but consistently get into the Champions League, and you
those
only
guys
get
went
that.
out in the first round like three times. Like
Yeah,
the first, it was
and you
only
know, and
every
you only
time they
get
went out
it.
in the first round.
Yeah, and
One thing.
it's only help. It can only help if you can can get into the or not even Champions, even the Europa League, for example. If you can get there consistently, you will improve as a club because the finances will improve. You'll be able to attract
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of good players. But just I think the last one is also like we have to give credit to the recruitment team at Newcastle.
They are massive.
I know,
They are
I know,
massive.
I know a lot of Newcastle fans have no love for the sporting director Dan Ashworth. But if you see the players that he was present for when they came to the club, likes of Lewis Hall, Livramento, Sandro Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes. All of these players they've had ups and downs. They've had some misdemeanor offenses off the pitch as well. But you're not seeing the current form of the you see the current form of the team where they have the best striker in the Premier League currently. They have one of the best left wingers in the Premier League, and I feel they have the best midfield combination in the
Central
Premier.
midfield. I think they
No,
have the best central midfield
the,
combination. That
the,
Jolinton, Gomares, Tonali is a
Tonali,
very. I don't think anybody is
those
better than
guys,
them when it comes to central midfield.
they can play.
Jolinton is a bully. He's
They
just
they
there
can
to bully and
no,
work
no he
rate.
play, oh, no, I don't know how I don't know how he does it because he, if you like with him you don't
Tonali
need to
was a
check it.
striker, man.
Yeah, but again was a striker when Eddie came to the club. He saw him as a finished striker. Then he converted him into this
No, he went as a winger first. He kept
yeah
taking him back. He
yeah
went to the wing, then he
yeah.
brought him back to the
He brought him
midfield.
back
Yeah.
as a security guy in that midfield. But like we said, you don't need to check his expected goals, expected assists. You just need to check his expected tackles per game. He probably has like a ridiculous amount of number in terms of his tackles. But I think yeah, with Isaac, I think this is a player that if them I know a lot of Chelsea fans, even the Chelsea legends that is putting the propaganda for Chelsea to get Osimhen. And I'm saying, I love Osimhen as a player, but I'm not a
Hold
fan
on,
of
hold on,
this.
hold on, hold on. We're
Oh,
ending with this. Hold on. I prepared
okay.
something for you. Let's end with this right now.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
As I saw the statistics, I figured out I have to check somebody else's statistics to in
Okay.
order to fully, you can call it an agenda. Now I'll start with this question: is Nicholas Jackson
Okay.
failing Chelsea, or is Chelsea failing Nicholas Jackson? And I'll give you my reason for saying that. I'll give
That's
you
a
my
good.
reason for that.
That's a
When
good
you
question.
watch Jackson, I've never been a fan of. I was not a fan of Jackson, right? Until the first season. After last season, I watched him this season. I said this guy has improved, right? Then I started looking at the fans abusing him. He missing chances. He's doing everything. He can never win that battle. I'll tell you that. I don't know
No,
the reason, but he
no, he's
can.
lost it. No, he's
Now,
lost it.
now, the problem I'm having is: are they really watching him, or are they just saying it because they want to say it? I looked at the statistics. Jackson area duels won 25%. Isaac is at 13%. Jackson is at 25. Mind you, I think Jackson is like 3 years or 2 years younger than Isaac.
Yeah.
Now, defensive actions. Isaac is at 8%. Jackson is at 34.
No,
As
because
a striker,
no, just
are you not outworking this guy or overworking him? At
okay.
34.
Yeah.
He is at 34% defensive. Your striker that should reserve his energy to score goals is giving you 34% input. That tells me the unit, there is no structure in that club. If a striker is giving you 34, he's a Roberto Firmino.
Yeah,
Now
that's
you
true.
look at chances created. Look at chances created. Isaac is at 91, he's at 66. So Isaac is almost creating double chances than him. You look at goals scored. Isaac is at 95%. He's at 57. So Isaac is almost double over what he's doing. But look at shots attempt. Isaac is 83% shot. Jackson is 44.
But
So why is the
but
striker not shooting?
just to touch on one point you made. When last season, a lot of people were on Jackson's back, and in terms of what his chances of missing. I was of the opinion that, and I'm still of the opinion that it's not the fact that Jackson is missing chances. I don't think he's not getting enough chances in the first place, because you have to get chances to score goals.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe the best strikers, if you always see it, if you check our Premier League or Europe, check big chances missing in the Premier League. Guess who you see there? You see the best goal scorers there, the best strikers in the Premier League, all there, because you have to get it's it's a numbers game, because if you get a high volume of chances, you're not expected to score a high volume of goals. But if you get a high volume of chances, you're expected to score medium level of goals. But the problem is when you're getting low volume of chances and the goal you're scoring it's at the same level to the chances you're getting, that's good, because you're finishing what you should finish. But if you want Jackson to get, I feel Jackson needs to get to the next level, he has to start getting more chances, and that the team needs
But
to.
if you watch the way Jackson plays, he's very, very similar. Although this guy has not scored more goals than him. But for the team, it's so similar to Dominic Solanke this season.
Yeah,
You look at
but
the work he puts
yeah,
in. So you
that's true.
look at is the system, these two guys' system
But
is
it's
not good enough.
no, but okay. Let's reframe this argument this way, because I feel we get it. When we talk about football, we fall into this trap where we talk about what a player is not good at instead of what he's actually good at.
Yeah.
And if you were to make a list, if you watch Jackson comprehensively last season, this season, and you watch him as the season progresses, and when the season finishes, you draw up a list. The things Jackson is not good at versus the things he's good at. I feel you'll be surprised at, if you're being honest with it, and if you're being very critical, you see Jackson. He has a very good touch. He
Yeah,
controls the ball. In
very,
fact, he
very.
controls the ball. He can dribble with the ball. He can run with the ball. He stretches. He can stretch the opposition team. He and I feel the point people always miss with this thing, because I feel they always feel, if you need to be a good team, or if you need to be a team challenging for the Premier League title, you need to have a good striker. And that thinking is flawed, because I believe you don't need a quote unquote traditional number nine to be a good team. Because
Mhm.
if you just let's take it from a Chelsea perspective, the times when Jose Mourinho came in, he brought in Didier Drogba. There was Adiago Johnson. Who was Chelsea's top goal scorer last season?
Well, Lampard, I think so.
Or Lampard. Fast forward the second season, Crespo comes in. There's Crespo, there's Lampard, Good Johnson. Good Johnson starts playing in midfield. Second season, another Premier League title. Who was Chelsea's top goal scorer last season?
So I don't know who says it.
Frank Lampard again.
Who?
And Frank Lampard. And do you know
Oh,
the
and the goals was
season?
spread. Don Terry was giving you like 5 goals every season.
Yeah,
Don Terry was giving so many. Ivanovic was scoring close to 3 goals every season. Like it
exactly.
was spread out
I
very,
feel,
very well.
and I think with what Maresca has done, and he said it from the beginning. He said we don't need to put pressure on Cole Palmer to be our only goal scorer. It's the job of everybody in the attack. I feel if you need a good attack, not a good goal scorer, you need a solid attack to win things. And when this because ultimately, say you have a striker that scores 30 Premier League goal, 20 Premier League goals, but the guys that come off time score 10, 15, 5. Also, they score 7, 5. That's that's for the two Premier League goals. That's okay. But if you have a situation where you have a guy that scores 50, 20, 15, or 20, 14, another guy scores 7, some score 5 or 6, that's a better situation than where you have a team that just one guy scores a bulk of the goals. Everybody struggles to eat. Because like with Chelsea now, Chelsea have a guy that can score 20 Premier League goals. That's Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
So you don't need this idea where if you get a striker comes in, the striker will score more goals. If a good striker comes in, I think Kopama's goals will go down.
yeah, 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 yeah,
It will go down, because a lot of the best goal strikers in Premier League, they all take pens. Salah takes a
yeah,
pen.
yeah, yeah.
Hala takes pens. Isaac takes pens. I'm not sure. Does he? I think Isaac does. I think he's taking a couple this season. Jackson doesn't. So when you're judging, like when you're looking at the goals scored this season, 14 Premier League goals, 14 non-penalty goals this season in a season. That's what I got last year. That's and I feel if you listen to a lot of strikers of the past, like even like Troy Deeney for example, he'll tell you if you're a striker score if any striker scores 10 Premier League goals, you're good. If you can score, if you can go from 10 to 15 to 20, you're in the top 5%, or even top 2%.
But
Because
you know
no,
the Chelsea system is so flawed. Because some of those games, you can win them with 1-0. You look at Fulham, you've scored one goal, it's still the back. But because you keep missing chances, yes, you miss chances. But if you shot the shot, even Guardiola's team that are not so defensive are defensive because they don't give you chances to score
yeah,
them. But Chelsea keeps conceding, and because they keep conceding, they keep putting pressure on the striker to add a double, to add 4 goals. You understand what I'm trying to say? So
yeah.
now you look at a defender that is giving you a striker that is giving you 34 defensive actions. I'm asking you, something is wrong with that midfield, or something is wrong with the
No,
team.
it's no. We all know where Chelsea's problem. For me, I feel Chelsea's problem does not lie in goal scoring. I go back to last season when people, okay, Chelsea need Osimhen. I said, Chelsea's problem last season was not the goals we scored. We scored a very good. We scored, I believe, it was 70 something goals last season. That's a good return. But the problem is conceding goals. And if you look at that Crystal Palace game, I felt it. You felt it. A lot of Chelsea fans felt it. The longer that game stayed at 1-0, it was more likely Chelsea won't win that game because Chelsea can't keep clean sheets. But I know this is not exact science, but if you look at the same fixture, when Liverpool went to Crystal Palace earlier in the season, they went 1-0 up early on. That goalkeeper went injured. They brought on they brought a keeper from the youth team or whatever to make his Premier League debut, but Liverpool still kept a clean sheet. So I feel goal scoring is good because I feel goals. If you have a good team with the basic setup, you will score goals. That's well, if you're not Sean Dyche and Everton, you score goals if you have a good team, good players. But the difference between a good team and a title challenging team is the amount of goals they concede, and the amount not even the goals, not even goals they concede, because you can concede goals with by just like an odd goal here, set piece from a free kick or penalty or that. But you look at the chances you give away. Chelsea always give chances. If you're playing with Chelsea, regardless of the position, they always give you one or two chances. And if you ask me right now, you put me on the spot, okay, Chelsea going to this window, the next window in summer, you can only sign how you rank on these positions: the goalkeeper, midfielder, striker, and the defender. By need for what Chelsea's team need, I feel for me the striker will come last because I feel we need a world class centre back. And if you look personally, I don't know who that guy is, but if you see Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool, you see their centre backs. And
Yeah.
if you look at those guys, look at what Chelsea have. It's night and day. You need after the centre back, you need a goalkeeper. I think the centre back and the goalkeeper. I feel
But I
if you
think
get it,
that's the problem City is also having this season, because I don't
yeah,
think any of your centre backs is really world class. The
no,
system made them so
they've
good.
dropped. They've
But
dropped.
you look at Gabriel. I didn't really rate Gabriel until Saliba became who he was. I was like, oh, he's good. Look at this is
But
how I'm not a fan of Van Dijk, but this is how much I know how good he is. Do you know Van Dijk plays with Matip? He plays with Gomez. He plays with Konate. It's almost the same in my eyes. I don't
yeah,
realize
yeah,
whoever
that's
he
true.
plays. So that
And
tells you that
it's
how good
him.
he is. Yeah.
It's him. And also, if you look at it historically, when after Pep's first season, where he had a tough go at it the first time around, when he went into the transfer window to improve that team, he's where did he spend more money on? So he didn't spend money. He didn't spend a lot of money on attack.
No, no, no.
I think they brought in San. I don't know. They brought Sani. Sani was there the previous season, but it was in defense.
There was a difference.
When he had to improve that team, he brought in Kai Walker,
Laporte.
Laporte, John Stones. He brought in Ederson to replace the goalkeeper he signed the previous season. He brought Benjamin Mendy. He spent close to
Yeah.
about 200 million on his defense alone. Liverpool, Liverpool obviously signed Mane and Salah, but our two biggest that the most they spent on players in that period was about 60 million for Alisson, another 70 million for Van Dijk. They didn't
Exactly. Yeah.
Liverpool don't they didn't have a traditional number nine. That number nine was Firmino, but our two best goal scorers were the guys that played on left and right wing. So there are ways you can go about it without having, again, it goes back to, don't judge a player on what he's not good at, but appreciate the things he's good at. Like you can't see, so, but Firmino won't score you goals. You can't count on him to score you goals. But what you can count on, what Firmino was very good at, was being the link between the defense, the midfield, the attack,
Yeah.
the bridge between Salah and Mane, bring the body for that team. He was a press machine for that team. And also
Yeah.
he brought a bit of creativity and guile into that position. And with Arsenal, I know Arsenal haven't won a Premier League, but if you want to win a Premier League, you have to get to 90 to about 85, 87 to 90 points. And Arsenal, they've been there twice. And a lot of Arteta's signings, or about 80 or 70% of his signings as Arsenal manager, have been at the back. He signed two goalkeepers, signed one, replaced him with another one. The centre backs he signed. He keep every window they sign at least one centre back or one full back. So because they know when you can score goals from a variety of ways. Set pieces. Arsenal score a lot of goals from set pieces. But if you can't keep it out at the end, you're flawed. I'm back to Jackson. If you want to you want to look at Jackson and Isaac, look at their career development. Isaac was at, let me just find it again. Isaac was
He
at
was in William. He was in William. William in
so he was
Holland.
so he came from a Swedish team, went to Borussia Dortmund's under 19 team. He didn't really feature for that first team. He had only one start in 2 years. He went on to William two, or however I said it in the Dutch league. 15 starts, goes okay. Then he goes to Real Sociedad, where he takes, in his first season at Real Sociedad, 14 starts, 9 goals.
Hmm.
Second season, 34 games, 30 starts, 17 goals. Then he leaves the next season. When he had another season where he scored 6 goals in 26 starts, which is off. Then he goes to Newcastle. Then you see the development where he's constantly improving year after year, year after year. I expect Jackson to score somewhere close to 15, 18 to 20 Premier League goals this season. But
How many goals is he at now?
is on, where is that? It's on, I had it here just now. I think he's on 9 Premier League goals now. I think he's on 9 Premier League goals.
He will get to
And
80 this year.
yeah, and you see the situation where it needs, sometimes players take time to develop. And this is the problem, because I woke up this morning to message on my Chelsea group chat. So it's gone from Osimhen is the striker went to sign to Isaac is the striker went to sign. I looked at that. I just laughed to myself, like, if Isaac wasn't the guy two seasons ago. Now
Yeah, yeah,
Isaac,
yeah.
because he's in this region of form, scoring goals, you want to go get Isaac. Well, sometimes you don't. Isaac, you're willing to pay for the final product, and we
Mhm.
know and we know Chelsea's history with big money strikers. It doesn't. I think we have the worst average. I don't think we've signed any striker for big money that's worked out. No, I'm talking
Mhm.
about the Kesmans.
Shevchenko,
Kesman,
the
Shevchenko's, Alvaro Morata, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and the
Lukaku.
and the big one itself,
Lukaku
Lukaku.
comes back for his hell. Come
Chelsea,
on.
Chelsea are still paying for Lukaku to this day.
That was the worst. I think that Lukaku signing was what destroyed Thomas Tuchel. If you look
Yeah,
at the resource he
yeah,
put in,
yeah.
the Lukaku signing, because they started having to sell players, to sell Guehi,
No, but
that was like
just
100 and
no, but
something.
I know, but even the balance of that team, because when that Champions League winning team was a very hard working team. Where if you look at, there were not really any egos in that lineup. Everybody was working for the team. When I had a struggle scoring goals, but he worked for the team. Kai Havertz was always Kai Havertz, I always criticize him a lot, but I'll give it to him. He's a fantastic presser and counter presser of the ball. The same with Messi. That was a very hard-working front three. So when you bring in a Lukaku who comes in with £100 million signing, signed to Rock Nation, he comes with that ego of it. I'm not attacking him personally. I'm just saying, obviously Lukaku is a big. He has ego. We all know this. We've seen him. He comes with that ego. The team and you put in the team, it doesn't start the stage. I think you could see it from early on where Chelsea's press was not really the best with Lukaku on that team. And I believe it got to a situation where the coach was looking for a way to get him out of that team without making it obvious. And that's why after he did that, after he made
Interview.
that interview, Lukaku went. I think the coach was happy to put him on the bench because I felt
Yeah,
he knew that the goals Lukaku will score was not what's making the team a poorer team for it.
yeah.
So it's also it's one of those where you always have to it's always good to find the balance and right now with Chelsea, if you can bank on in terms of back to goals or whatever, you can bank on Kopama already has 13 Premier League goals. That's the same with Isaac. Why do you need you don't need two guys scoring 20 goals a season? Of course it's nice to have, but you don't really need it. I feel Kopama will get to about 20, 25 goals, including penalties. And you have Jackson backing him up with another 10 to 15 goals a game. Noni can start chipping in with goals as well. But the problem is after you go past Enzo Fernandez, then the closest person is Christopher
So
Nkunku
doesn't
because no, but to Enzo's credit, he scored 3 goals. If Enzo gives me 5 goals this season,
really.
if Enzo gives
Okay,
Enzo gives me 5 goals this
yeah,
season,
yeah,
I'll take that. But
yeah,
but the
yeah. I didn't know
problem
it's up to
is
10. I think it was
no.
two.
But the problem is guys like Pedro Neto and Jadon Sancho who between two of them they scored 3 goals. That's where the issue is because
Those guys need to be giving me at least 6 to 7 goals every season.
yeah. So
It's minimum. That's the barest minimum. You
that's
can't be in that position and give it to me.
and if you go
Because
beyond that,
the defenders are not scoring. Gusto should be giving you at least 2 goals every
the,
season. Yeah, I don't think he has
the,
scored the Premier League goal.
no, do you know Costa has not scored for Chelsea? I think he's a very good player, but I'm surprised he hasn't scored for Chelsea. And if you compare,
The end product is it
well,
shows you his age.
like if you compare our centre back, I don't think we have the best. We have fantastic centre backs. Well, we have two fantastic centre backs, and three coming on the way. Isasi and the other ones, I don't know. But if you look at of the guys that started the most Premier League games for us in Premier League, Levi Colwill and Fofana, they've not scored the Premier League goal between them. And you see what Arsenal, of course, Chelsea have always been. We've always relied on our centre back to score goals historically.
And so
Not just JT, but even Ivanovic, Carvalho,
He
Alex,
scored lots of goals.
Alex, David Luiz. This way, guys popping up with free kicks, popping up with fantastic goals in the box. So I feel the goal scoring aspect is the job for the entire team, the entire outfield players, because all up, all up
It's
goes to
true.
get
Every Chelsea centre back scored goals. Oh.
no, they
David
won't score.
Luiz,
They
Caesar
all
score goals.
they
David
as Mikel
Luiz,
scores goals.
Caesar,
For even
Cahill.
Ashiko, there was a season when Ashiko was under with Ancelotti. Ashiko scored 3 Premier League goals that season. So you need every goal scoring is the job, not just for the strikers. Because I know Bayern Munich last season, Harry Kane scored 40 goals and whatnot, but they didn't win the league.
And they didn't win it.
And if you look after the 40 goals he scored, the next I think Musiala had like about 10. After Musiala, there was like 2, 3, 4. It's not good numbers. So goal scoring is something that it will make you a very good team, but with Chelsea I think we need better centre backs. And I feel I expect us to do business in that department because you can't if we end up with going what we have right now in that position, I don't think we finish top four.
Frank, it should be all for today. Let's wrap it up. Do
Yeah,
you have any
just
message for uh,
no, just find out what Happy New Year and our mission statement is just keep getting more products, more visuals, more audio, more graphics on the page, having more football discussions on our pages. interacting more with our growing community, and we hope we all have a fantastic 2025. So thanks again.
Thanks to everyone. Like and follow, and then have a good New Year.
Yeah,
Thanks. Bye
have
bye.
it. Yeah, bye.